All right, Shalom. First off, I'm going to start out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father's true name, Yahweh Shai being the name of his only begotten Son. Double honors unto the elders and the apostles, the great millstone who rule well and teach well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all you walk him throughout the four corners of the earth, continuing to push and do the works in truth and in sincerity. All right, this is the brother Masha Mayum, one of the men here with the GMS branch out here in the morning camp. Here with a quick lesson once again, and pretty much just just reading a few precepts and showing you how we are commanded to be watchmen. All right. Now, I'm not going into any article or anything like that, but just, showing you through the scriptures how the Lord commanded us to watch. Okay. So let's start off with the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, and starting at the top. And it reads, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. All right. And standing upon our watch is what? Looking at the news articles and seeing what's going on. All right. Reread it again. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. Okay. So what? We take these prophecies, okay, which is what we're told, all right, and what we read, okay, and then what? We go and we link them up with the news articles and what's going on, okay. Verse 2, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. All right. Because when you read all the prophets, they receive their portion of a vision, right? But applying it in the times that we're in, okay, all we do is we read these prophecies, okay, and make it plain upon tables, right? By what? By simply breaking it down and explaining what it is, okay? That he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry, okay? And the vision is pretty much dealing with these prophecies that come to pass, the different things that we link up, okay, wars and rumors of wars, all right, things dealing with, the sea hip, okay, or things leading up to it, right, the uprisings, the insurrections, different things like that we can see going on, that are things mentioned in the scriptures that we go to, okay, and we break them down, So from there, let's go to the book of Second Ezra, chapter 9, and starting at the top. And it reads, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. All right. But it said what? He answered me then and said, measure thou the time. Okay. Once again, measuring the time is what? Looking at what's going on. Okay. And linking them up. All right. With the prophecies, And it said what? And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before. Okay. So when we see these things that we see the Lord mention, okay, different things that Ezra mentioned, right? And many other visions, okay? Or should I say prophecies that were written about, Isaiah, Jeremiah, right? A lot of times, brothers, we'll see what's going on and the, the turmoil and the trouble that's coming, right? And we link it up with what? Jacob's trouble, okay? Because a lot of these things that Esau Edom, okay, the so-called white man is doing, okay, it's targeted towards Jake, As we can see, we see the ICE deportations going on, right? That's targeted towards what Jake being the Northern Kingdom, okay? You can also tie that in with what? Eventually, he's gonna come down with the troops, which he already is, but it's gonna be even on a greater scale, right? You can tie that in with what? Let's get this real quick. I believe it's Isaiah. I think it's Isaiah 10 and 20. This is Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 5, and it reads, O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger, and the staff in their hand is mine indignation. All right, and who we apply, okay, here to be the Assyrian is Esau Edom, okay, and his troops, right? Verse 6, I will send them against an hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take the spoil, and to take the prey, and to tread them down like the mire of the streets, okay? That hypocritical nation is here is who, okay? Is Jake, all right? Israelites, okay? That's who the Lord is sending. This is Assyrian, okay, being his rod, okay, you know, his whooping stick, all right, which is who Esau Edom and his troops, okay. They're gonna come down and grab up a lot of you Jakes, you know. But I just wanted to grab this real quick because this is another precept that we read, okay, and we tie in measuring the times, you know. But from there, let's go back to Second Esdras. Second Esdras chapter 9 and verse 2. Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that it is that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Okay, so it mentioned earthquakes, and we can read that as well in Matthew 24. All right, and you can look up an earthquake every single day once again, and that's something that's happening a lot, right? That's another major sign that's happening a lot. All right, and a lot of times too, it's like what do they say, like 5-point magnitude and up. Okay, so that's definitely a sign. That's definitely a sign that we're in those times, you know. From here, let's get the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, and verse 17. And it reads, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. All right. And that's what the men of the Lord are out here set up to be. Okay. Watchmen. Why? Because we read these prophecies, study these prophecies, we break them down. Okay. And when we see them coming to pass, okay, we warn, okay, the people through the lessons and videos that we put up. All right. Look, boom, this is what's happening, which goes back to this in the scriptures. All right. To give the listeners a heads up, you know. Verse 18, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life, the same wicked man shall die as in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Okay, and this is another reason why we are to continue to warn. Okay. And overall, okay, you know, this is overall. All right. It could be a video of a simple two-third doing something wicked, right? And we do a lesson on it, and we say, look, this is an example of Jake going off. Okay, stop doing this, right? That's warning the people. All right. And the ones who see that and take heed, okay, the elect that see that and take heed, okay, are going to make a mental note, okay, and repent. Right. Verse 19, yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. Right. So if Jake doesn't, they don't take heed and they don't listen, at least you warned them. All right. And the Lord sees it. Right. So from here, let's grab the book of Mark, chapter 13. And we'll start at verse 35. This is Mark chapter 13 and verse 35, and it reads, "Watch ye therefore," right? Being a watchman, "Watch ye therefore, for you know not when the master of the house cometh at even, or at midnight, or at the cock crowing, or in the morning, lest coming suddenly he find you sleeping. And what I say unto you, I say unto all, watch." All right, and that's ultimately what dealing with measuring the times as well. Okay, because like that's Thessalonians. Let's get that real quick. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and starting at 1, and it reads, "But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." All right, but that's the point. Okay, we know this is the times that we're in. Okay, that's why the Lord was saying what? Continue to watch. All right, know the times. Right. Verse 3 of verse 4. "But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief," right? Because we have these scriptures and we know the things to expect, you know. Verse 6, "Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober," right? You know, because the rest of these 2/3, they're asleep. They're not watching. They're comfortable in their lives, okay, like it says, eating, drinking, making merry, right? That's how Jake is living every day, okay? Drinking up, eating up, okay, smoking, you know, working their jobs, making their money, but you know, a lot of times they're not paying attention to the things going on around them. All right, Jake is mainly focused on just their lives, right? Unless, you know, sometimes when things actually affect them, you know, like you know, sometimes you might see different women, okay, complaining about, you know, food prices or things like that, right? But overall, you know, Jake's not paying attention, you know, to the major signs going on, you know. But from here, let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 56 and verse 10. This is Isaiah chapter 56 and verse 10. And it reads, "His watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark. Sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber." All right. And we apply this what to these other guys, okay, in these other camps. Why? Because they're a lot of the times, okay, different things that GMS is breaking down, okay, in truth, okay, the correct breakdowns, they're twisting them up and turning them, all right, to mean something else, okay. Things like the C hip, right? Mentioning, I heard different things about Jacob's trouble, okay. Really, they're bringing a message of they're trying to say peace and safety, okay, in a roundabout way, when really that's not the case, okay. We can see clearly that these are signs that the Lord has told us to watch for, which is happening, and it's leading up to Jacob's trouble, okay. And it really doesn't look like, obviously, peace and safety, right? Rereading verse 10 again, Isaiah 56 and 10. "His watchmen are blind, they are all ignorant, they are all dumb dogs, they cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber," right? Okay, and a dog, once again, a dog is supposed to be watch for intruders in your house, right? You know, they're able to hear things, you know, a lot sharper, right? That's why a lot of times, okay, you hear a dog bark, okay, when somebody's at the door, okay. It's a reason it says it in the scriptures, you know. Verse 11, "Yea, they are greedy dogs," right? And I mentioned that, but what, these guys are like a dog that can't bark, okay, and they just lay there, okay. That's how they are, okay, when they don't alarm and wake up Jake to the things going on, you know. Verse 11, yea, they are greedy dogs, which can never have enough, and they are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way, everyone for his gain from his quarter, right? They all look to their own way, and everyone for his own gain, all right. And really, it's obvious that a lot of these other camps they get paid, okay, to do what they do, you know. And that's really the main thing behind them, in the back of their minds, why they do it, right? Let's go to Matthew 24. Matthew 24 and verse 42. And it reads, watch therefore, for you know not what hour your Lord doeth come, right? Verse 43. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, right? So you're being a good watchman, you're watching, right? You know, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up, right? Because when you're on your watch, okay, and you're on guard, you're gonna know, okay, when something's coming, right? Verse 44, therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh, right? So ultimately, you don't know when it's gonna come, okay, and they're in the spirit of peace and safety, okay, when really things can break out, okay, and it can be a domino effect real quick, you know. And really, it's watching is also preparing. Okay, you're not just watching, but you see, okay, this is the time of coming in. Let me prepare. Okay, let me pray more. Let me fast more. Right? Let me get closer to the Lord. Okay, let me make sure my faith is more firm. Right? That's another key thing of watching too. You don't just watch to watch. You watch and you prepare. You know. But that's the point. You know, I just wanted to grab a few precepts showing you that we are commanded to watch and measure the time. You know. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash, for putting this spirit upon me to do this lesson. Double honors unto the elders and the apostles, the great millstone who rule well and teach well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all you walking throughout the four corners of the earth, continuing to push and do the works in truth and in sincerity. Shalom.